a duck marsh right now. It's actually a refuge for ducks. It's being managed, and the beaver have come in and they dam this up, and then it actually floods and eats out the levees in the other ponds. And they built a dam across their overflow. And this dark spot you see, we just had a lot of rain, so it's not very clear, but the big chunk of leaves is a relief pipe. That's how they drain this to put the corn inside the fields to feed the ducks. And they called us down because the beaver, they said, between this and a couple other places on the farm here, is costing them tens of thousands of dollars a year, because they got to bring in backhoes, dig out the pipes, redo everything every year. So we're in getting rid of some beaver. This has had ice on it, believe it or not, yesterday. So we set some snares and some Conibears up. We have a little luck that I see on the beaver. We're going to fix this problem for the landowner. What we've done on this levee, we set some Conibears on this side. There's a beaver crossover. We're going to show you a few of them so you know what they are. But we snared the beaver here. Like I said, torrential downpour last night, red clay levees. It's made a mess, as you can see from everything. And the beaver snared. It's just like putting a leash on an animal, and he's just waiting on us. Snared beaver, what's happening here is we've got the beaver living over in the creek side, which is used to manage the water here. They're coming up to the ponds and they're making slides. Now we're going to show you some really exaggerated ones here in a minute, but you'll just see them. It looks like a trail going from one side to the other. They're going back and forth. We got him in the snare. I had a Conibear down here in the water. And that's the other beaver caught right there. As you can see, there's no pain, there's no thrashing. He's just hanging out like your dog on a leash waiting for us. A little muddy, he'll be okay. Well, I'm on a different part of the property now, and we're still working off the levees. He's got beaver problems and the otter eating his ducks. So when you're setting these traps, you're going to catch both animals in it. And I can see we have a beaver here caught in a 330 Conibear. And then I'm going to put this back in the slide after I take the beaver out, and then we will get on going. But I want to show you some things you'll need to get if you're going to use Conibears. A pair of setters. There's all different kinds. You'll be seeing a lot of them over the course of the year. But what that does is allow you to close the springs. I'm just hooking these on the eye. These allow me some leverage to put the safety hooks on, and then we can take the beaver out. Now this is a very, very powerful trap. You don't want to use it where you're going to have dog problems. You know, you want to have it in the water. You need to check your state laws to see how they say you have to have them. Not everywhere they have to be in the water. But to set the trap, you want to get the springs where they're out to the side. This is what we're calling the trigger. This little piece right here is the trigger. This is the dog. This hooks on to this little groove right here onto the bar. That's what holds this together. When the trigger moves, it flips that dog off, and there's nothing holding these springs in place at that time. So what we do, I'm going to hook the dog. You never want to have your hands under here or anything. You want to get an overhand grip, so if this fires, you're not in it, because this trap can definitely hurt you. And that's how that works right there. And with the safeties on, a blouse like this, you don't have to worry about them falling off. We'll show. Okay, here's our beaver slide or otter slide. Both of them are using it. I'm just going to set this directly in between. I'm going to have half in, half out. Now you'll see a lot of different ways that we use this over the course of a year. Sometimes they're totally submerged. You don't have to have levees to use this. But all I'm doing with these sticks is pushing them down where the springs come together at the tiniest part. See, now our trap is stabilized. The only thing that's going to fire on this trap is that trigger when a beaver comes down and goes through it. Now, since we are dealing with otter, I want to kind of hide the trap a little bit, just kind of break its outline up. Just taking wads of grass, kind of push it in the springs. I don't want to make an obstruction in the jaws in here. I just want to kind of break it up so when it comes off the bank, he dives under and gets caught. We'll get another customer, just like we had the beaver. Same place, we have a big pond. Sorry about the water, but it's rolling. We had a lot of rain. Big pond up here, so what I do is I find these fingers of the water that gets closest to the pond. The water that's closest to the ponds is the easiest way for the beaver and otter to go back and forth. I had a 330 set right here. There he is. All I've done was, just like we showed the other Conibear, to set the trap right here. The slide comes down, set it in front of it, kind of blend it in. That's all it takes. This is just a neat little trick that you can do. I've got double baling wire with a piece of flagging on it. When we're looking at these traps, is about 70, 80 feet straight uphill. When I put the flag on it, well, I'm going to show you, when the trap's fired, the flag's gone. All I got to do is look for the flag. If the flag's there, we still have the beaver. I mean, the trap's still set. The beaver ain't come by yet. I've got my safeties on the trap. What I'm doing, I'm not wiring the jaws together. I'm just wiring this to the outside of this jaw. So when that jaw closes, the flag's going to flop down. Remember, safety's on. Be gentle. Because even with the safety's on, it'll pop you pretty good. See that right there? I can see that from up there on the road. When the trap fires, it's going to flop over. That's how we knew we had a beaver this morning.